Southfield City Council election. Today is October 23rd, 2013. This forum features the 7 candidates who have filed for City Council. Vote for not more than 4. The 3 candidates receiving the highest vote totals will serve 4-year terms, and the candidate receiving the 4th highest vote total will serve a 2-year term. Sponsor of this forum is the League of Women Voters, Oakland area. I am Neil Zeckman, a member of the League of Women Voters. I am not a resident of the city of Southfield. The League of Women Voters is a trusted, national, nonpartisan political organization. Our members do the hands-on work to safeguard democracy. While we never endorse a candidate, we're directly involved in shaping the important issues that keep our community strong. As a League of Women Voters member, I have the opportunity to contribute in a leadership role, such as this one, that has great impact on local, state, and even national issues. If you're interested in learning about how you can make a similar impact, I would encourage you to pick up some of the League's information available here tonight, or visit our website at lwvoa.org. The League of Women Voters does not endorse any candidate or political party. Views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates, and the League takes no responsibility for those views. The format for this forum has been established by the League of Women Voters. We ask that the audience remain silent during the forum. Please turn off all cell phones. We ask that candidates answer the questions with their views only, and that they not interrupt another candidate. The candidates will be answering questions submitted by the audience and screened for duplication and appropriateness by Tara Moon and Jerry Burton of the League of Women Voters. The page tonight, Judy Bateman, will be circulating with paper and pencils for your questions. Please turn your questions into the pages. The other page is who? Tamika Turner Grayton is the other page. Thank you. The format is as follows. All candidates will be given 1 minute for opening statements in alphabetical order. Closing statements will be 1 minute in reverse order. Candidates will have 1 minute to answer each question in rotation unless extended by the moderator. All candidates will be allowed equal time to answer questions. Our timer is Dorothy Warren. The timer will, if you raise your hand, Dorothy, thank you. The timer will keep the candidates aware of the time remaining and will indicate when time is up. Candidates are asked to stop speaking when their time is up. The candidates, alphabetically from your left to your right, are Sansaria Baldwin, Floyd C. Cruz, Donald F. Fracassi, Myron Frazier, Michael Ari Mandelbaum, Joan Seymour, and Kenson Cyber. We will now begin the 1-minute opening statements with Ms. Baldwin.
Hello, thank you, Mike. Actually, you pronounced it right. I just wanted to give you hands up on that. Thank you to the League of the Women Voters of the Oakland area for affording me, of course, with this opportunity to present my platform and my initiatives and, of course, my background to you all. I am your candidate of choice for Southfield City Council on Tuesday, November the 5th. I'm a Southfield resident and I have been for over 10 years. I'm a dedicated mother of 3 sons. I have a BS in Business Administration. I'm a nominated member of the National Association of Distinguished Professionals. I'm also the mayor's appointed member of the Historic Commission. In addition, I have served on the Oakland County Women's Commission since its inception, which was 2007 until 2012. I was originally appointed by Senator Vincent Gregory and then reappointed by Oakland County Commissioner Janet Jackson. I'm looking forward to serving you, and I'm thanking the League of Women Voters for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Cruz.
Good evening, residents and friends, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting us today. My name is Lloyd Cruz, and I come to you today as a resident of Southfield for the past 7 years, but have worked in the community and for the last 13 to 14 years, currently serving as the Dean of Campus Affairs for Oakland Community College, Southfield campus. I hold a bachelor and master's degree in political science from Clark Atlanta University and a PhD in educational leadership from Wayne State University. I've been active in a number of community organizations throughout the years, particularly as president of the Southfield Rotary Club. I serve as a trustee for the Boys and Girls Club of South Oakland College, as well as the vice chair for the American Red Cross of Southeastern Michigan. I reside here with my 10-year-old son, who is a student at Brace Literacy Schools, and I feel that the experience that I've gained in my professional life, along with my educational background, make me uniquely qualified for this type of position. I have the transferable skills that will make me an excellent councilman, and I hope to have your support on November 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Fracassi.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me here. Been before the League of Women Voters many times, and I appreciate that they are involved in these elections. As an incumbent, I'd like to just start by making a comment about what this council has dealt with over the last few years. The last few years, we lost over $1.3 billion in value. And I say that because that led to a lot of challenges by not only the council, the mayor, but staff, and this has been a real challenge to continue the city to grow. I think I've played a major role, as my experience played a big role in my experience in dealing with a lot of the challenges, and I continue to want to do that. So I ask for your support, and it's always been a pleasure to serve this community.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. Mr. Frazier.
Good evening. Thank you, the League of Women Voters, for allowing us to speak our piece and talk about what we'd like to do for the city of Southfield. I've been on council for about 18 years, and I feel that I still have fire in my belly about making Southfield the best place that I know how to make it. I've been married for 53 years, so you can tell that I'm in it for the long haul. And as my council partner, Mr. Fracassi, has said, we've lost a lot of money since 2008, and we've made our budget every year. We've balanced the budget, and we're living within our budget without going to the bank. I ask for your vote on November the 5th so that I can continue to do what I've been doing for the last 18 years, and that is be the voice of reason on the council and make top quality decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum.
Good evening. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for allowing the opportunity for the voters in the community to learn more about their candidates for City Council. My name is Michael Mandelbaum. I have a strong background and years of experience as a community advocate working on behalf of the men, women, and children who live in our neighborhoods. I was raised with a strong spirit of volunteerism, and I'm honored to be involved in the Southfield Total Living Commission for the past 5 years, currently serving as its chairman, working with the many different departments in the city to improve quality of life for all residents. But tonight, I want to impress upon you the opportunity we have in front of us. You can elect someone like myself who has been giving to the community, who was born and raised here, who has chosen to raise his own family here. I've seen the city change over the years, and I know that it is the best place to be. But we can make it even better with safer neighborhoods, better roads, more jobs, and maintaining the city's services for everyone while being fiscally responsible.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. And thank you to the League of Women Voters for holding this session. It's needed and it's appreciated. I've lived in Southfield since 1973. I've been a lifelong volunteer and a community activist. I've been on the council for, I know it's more than 15 years, not quite as long as Myron, but very close to it. And I love this community. I moved here with the idea of moving somewhere else after a couple of years and decided this is home. I have been a frequent chair and member of the Council Finance Committee. Finance and land use are the two most important things that we deal with. I'm passionate about protecting the communities because the communities are the most important thing and our people are the most important thing to be considered. So I ask for your vote. I'm proud to serve this community and hope that I will be on your list of 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. And Mr. Seibert.
Good evening, residents. As way of introduction, I bring 47 years of Southfield life experience and community service to City Council. I'm very knowledgeable of our city and its operations. I treat people fairly and with respect, and I pride myself on my responsiveness to constituents. I was an educator in the Southfield Public Schools for 45 years, and I hold a doctorate degree in educational administration from Wayne State University. I have served on the board of the Magnolia Neighborhood Association for the past 38 years. I'm a charter member of the Martin Luther King Task Force, and board member of the Southfield Historical Society. Additionally, I am a Southfield Good Follows volunteer and currently president of the Southfield Nonprofit Housing Authority. I've coordinated Volunteer Day for the last 17 years, chaired the annual Garden Walk, and given numerous community tours, including the recent Mid-Century Modern Architectural Tour. I'm also the author of 3 Southfield Histories. I'm completing my 3rd term on council. Thank you.
We will now begin the question segment of our forum. Most answers will have a 1-minute time limit unless I announce a longer time limit for that question. We will begin with candidate Sensaria Baldwin. And this will be the same question to all of the panel members. What is the single biggest challenge facing our city in the next 5 years?
That's a really good question. One of the single biggest problems facing our city, I'm going to say, is business, blight, business attraction. I think for myself, I want to make Southfield become the next southeastern Michigan regional player. And I believe if we don't do that and we don't work toward that, we will face an issue of declining property values, and we will face what we're facing now, and that's not being able to repopulate our city. So I believe the biggest single challenge that we're facing right now is definitely business attraction.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Cruz.
Yes, I would say that clearly you've already heard from a number of our city council persons talking about the number of dollars that we've lost over the last 10 years or so. And I think that's our major issue. We need to look at new ways to build revenue for the city. And in that would mean recruiting individuals back to the city. We've lost about 6,000 residents over the last 10 years. We need to look at ways to bring those folks back to the city, as well as others that are looking for places to reside. But we also need to recruit back businesses to this community. We need to bring choice restaurants and living spaces with walkable communities to this area. Things that are going to make it attractive, that are going to bring more money and more resources to our city. We can't continue to just to cut our way out of our deficits and try to make balanced budgets based on not filling positions and budget lines. We need to look at new ways to bring economic development to this area, and if we do so, we'll have a thriving city in the years to come.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. It's been suggested that the candidates do not look at me, even though I would like to see your eyes. That's very nice, but please do address the audience rather. We'll begin the next answer with Mr. Fracassi.
Yes, as chair of the City Finance Committee, I think the biggest problem facing the city is the federal government, the state, and the county getting into our pockets. An example of that would be the non-existing anymore of the personal property tax on business equipment. That would reduce our funds revenue from 75% of their value. And that is going to be a major, major hit to this community. So we have to continue to be vigilant in watching what's happening to us, both from the state, the federal government, and the county. And they are always in our pockets. So that is going to be the major thrust. You know, with money and revenue, you can do almost anything. Without it, you can't do nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. Mr. Frazier.
Thank you. Mr. Fracassi took the words right out of my mouth. Funding. Funding is the major problem that we're going to be facing for the next 5 years. You can have all the good plans that you want, but if you don't have funding to support those plans, they're just idealistic ideas. Lansing is, as Mr. Fracassi said, Lansing is cutting our personal property tax. It's going to eliminate it, which is a piece of our general funding. It also, the gas tax, we need to improve the gas tax so that or find a completely different way of funding the construction and maintenance of our roadways. Because as the cafe standards go up, our gas tax gets less, and we have less money to fix our roads. And you can see, as you drive up and down the streets, you can see the problems that we have. So funding is our major problem for the next 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum.
In the next 5 years, Southfield really needs to redevelop itself with economic development, needs to fix its roads and attract new residents. Southfield is very underdeveloped. There's a lot of open spaces. We need to find businesses, large and small, to attract, to come into Southfield to help raise that revenue, fix the roads. Southfield is 98% fiber optic ready. These new businesses can come in and utilize the infrastructure that Southfield has. We also need to find ways to collaborate with our neighboring cities, to find ways to share services and utilize our services to benefit everyone around without having to raise taxes and find ways to lower them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Ms. Seymour.
Would you repeat the question?
Yes. What is the single biggest challenge facing our city in the next 5 years?
Well, I think clearly it's revenue, but there are some things that haven't been mentioned that have affected us for the first time ever, and that is our commercial tax appeals. We've always won these tax appeals. This time around, we are losing all of our commercial tax appeals because of the vacancies, and the appeals court is siding with the appellant. We have another problem that we face is with Proposal A that was passed in 1994, which says that, and it hits Southfield the most, the hardest, 2 other small communities, and we're the ones that are the victims of this. If the residents of a building, a commercial building goes down, you've got 10 stories and it goes down and only 2 stories are filled. If they fill it back, then their taxes go down. If they fill it back up, we can't collect taxes until the building is sold and there's new owner. So that's a major hit to Southfield only. So revenue is affected by the appeals and by Proposal A.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. I have another instruction from our camera person. If you do wish to look at the camera, it should be the one to our left. To the left, as you look out.
You can't look straight ahead, so you want to...
Well, if you look at the camera, he asks that you look at the correct one, which is the one to the left. All right, and we'll have the final answer to this question from Mr. Seibert.
Obviously, it's revenue. We've all of the other candidates have said the same thing. And I guess I would just add a few things to what has already been said to add to it. Our federal funds under our community development block grant, our funds are down by more than a third. Our state revenue sharing is down by a good third. And our road funds have just about dried up. So we have the challenge of finding new monies, which we've done in 3 major projects next year with over $10 million in grants. While we've lost revenue because of our tax base, it's incumbent upon us to find new sources of revenue. And one of the things that, as Council President this year, I appointed an Economic Development Committee.
Sorry, your time is up.
All right.
We'll begin the next question with Mr. Cruz, and the same question to all candidates. Will the city continue using the 40-year-old tax abatement, PA Public Act 198 policy? Will the city continue using the 40-year-old tax abatement, PA 198 policy?
Well, I think that's going to be something that needs to be decided by the next council once the election is over. This is something that we decide to move forward with, then yes and no, but it needs to be something that has some community involvement. I would hope that the council would take time to involve the community to talk about the pros and cons of this and to see if this is going to be in the best interest of the city moving forward. And again, if it is, it's something that there seems to be something positive for us, then I think we should. Otherwise, I think it's something that we can look for different alternatives to pursue.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Percassi.
Yes, I think, each request has to stand on its own merits. If anyone who, especially those who are here and those who ask that question, have to understand that there's a battle out there, a serious battle. We just lost Panasonic to our neighbor because they gave more tax abatement than we had in the tool chest. And it goes on and on. If you see what's happening to Detroit, we're losing to Detroit, losing to Novi, losing to Farmington Hills, Rochester Hills. And that's the war that's really existing today. So we have to use every tool in the toolbox to try to retain and to bring in new people into the city by using whatever tools we have.
Thank you, Mr. Percassi. Mr. Frazier.
The tax abatement is a tool. Tax abatement is a way of helping a business that wants to come to Southfield, come to Southfield. And I don't support giving a tax abatement to every business that comes in. I look at each business and I vote depending on how I feel that they should, whether or not we should use a tax abatement. And I voted no. I voted no on some tax abatements in the past, and I might vote no in the future. But again, tax abatements help us level the playing field for those communities that may be a little newer than ours and look like the buildings are more attractive. But what we want to do is bring people in, and we have several opportunities to use maybe tax abatements, brownfield, and other methods of battling with the other communities because it is a war out there.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum.
I think the use of tax abatements is on a case-by-case basis. I don't think that it's a general rule that it should be used depending on what the business will offer the community, what kind of services they have, and what they will generally bring to the table. I definitely think that it is a good tool to use when the circumstances are warranted, but I think it's something that maybe the city should look at possibly splitting the tax with the company, share the burden. If the city wants the company to come into the city, they definitely should help and share the burden. We need to stay competitive in Southfield, and we need to scale back and make sure that we can offer them competitive pricing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. As it has been stated, tax abatements are a tool. We are living in a very competitive and cutthroat environment to attract businesses to our city. This is a tool that we have to use when it's appropriate. There are two kinds of tax abatements. This is only one, but some involve furnishings, some involve land. And it depends on how attractive that business is to us and how valuable it will be to us and how much we want it. But it's a tool, and we're in a competitive environment, and if we don't use it, we could lose. So we have to take it seriously. I don't like tax abatements, but given that we're in a competitive environment and they can go anywhere, it helps us, and we need to use every tool that we have in the toolbox if we're going to attract business. They're not just going to come here because they like Southfield. They're going to come here if it's an advantage to them financially. So it is an important thing to have it available.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. And Mr. Seibert.
Tax abatements are, I think, often misunderstood. It's not that people are not paying taxes. The tax abatements that I have supported, again, on their individual merits, have brought more jobs to Southfield. They have filled empty office space. They've also had dollars tied to them that mean renovation of an aging commercial building, so it's an investment in the community. And the abatement is on the new development, and it's only for 3 to 5 years. Then they pay the existing taxes plus the taxes on the new development. It makes sense a lot of times. It's spending money to make money.
Thank you, Mr. Cyber, and Ms. Baldwin.
I agree with the panelists here. However, for tax abatements, again, they are great tools for resources, but we must set standards for tax abatements, and they are good for selective situations only. Everyone that comes before council, whether it's new development or not, we have to look at how does it benefit us to give this tax abatement. Why not, for myself as a council member, I would like to set standards for tax abatements and have these corporations, let us have some expectations from these corporations when we're giving tax abatements. Because if we can do that, they can become sponsors, perhaps for apprentice programs, perhaps for some senior activities. I mean, we should set a standard for tax abatements and not at the people's expense. So I'm all for tax abatements for selective situations. I think they're a great resource for a tool, but I think we must start setting standards and expectations when we decide to approve tax abatements. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. We'll begin the next question with Mr. Fracassi. It's closely related to the one we just had. Explain the difference between a brownfield tax credit and a personal property abatement, and when each should be used.
That came up just recently Monday night, and I was told that I asked a petitioner that he should seek brownfield. The brownfield is basically a tool again where you have older buildings sitting on a piece of property and you want to get redevelopment on that piece of property. What it does is brings down the cost, level playing field with the open lands that they have in the outer areas of the state. And so to compete, you have to have that finances put in place so that you bring down the cost of the land and make it buildable. That's the only way we're going to retain and bring in new businesses into the city, if we have something that will assist them in tearing down the old and building the new. So they're going to be paying for all the new taxes, because if they bring in the new, then they start paying tax from day one.
Thank you. Your time is up, Mr. Fracassi. Thank you. Next answer will be from Mr. Frazier.
Okay, the difference between brownfield and the personal property tax. Brownfield typically is a building that's old and not usable as the new resident or the new business wants to use it. So, and it's also for those pieces of property that need to be cleaned up prior to getting a certificate of occupancy. So the developer spends their own money cleaning up the area and building the new building, and then we excuse some of the taxes during that period of time. The personal property tax is based on equipment that's movable. It's chairs, equipment that's used to make the business run. So they're two different things, but both of them are used to encourage people to come into Southfield and be a business person here in Southfield.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum.
Thank you. Both of the tools are useful in helping to redevelop the city, bring in new businesses. As it was stated earlier, the brownfield is really for obsolete properties, properties that need to be either completely redone, demolished, and rebuilt. And the personal property tax is really on equipment in existing spaces, where a company will come in and renovate and add to what's currently in a building. And I think both of those tools can be used to help redevelop the city and build up our current business development.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. Brownfields are very misunderstood. It's a means to help a development with a building that it must be functionally obsolete. It either must be so contaminated that it's too much to expect a new developer to clean it up, that's the building itself, or it must be functionally obsolete, or the land on which any part of that land must be contaminated, either with chemicals or oil leakage. We've had a number of those. But either the soil must be contaminated, or the building must be contaminated, or the building must be functionally obsolete. That's the basic criteria.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. Mr. Seibert?
Yes, our future is in redevelopment. We don't have green fields anymore. Southfield used to have green fields. We are now a developed inner ring suburb, and we need to redevelop many of our aging commercial buildings or former industrial buildings, much as was done on Telegraph Road and also on 8 Mile. Brownfields are great for clearing, for environmental reasons, clearing contaminants on a site. But I also want to talk a little bit about personal property tax and an abatement that council gave to a company on 8 Mile Road called Bradley Thompson Tool. There are only 2 companies in the world that make these very fine parts for aircraft, and one of them is in Southfield, Michigan. And the machines are incredibly expensive. And this was a personal property tax abatement and investment.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Seibert.
Very impressive.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes, brownfields, in my interpretation, is for definitely undeveloped properties. And then tax abatement is usually used for new developers that would like to come in here and develop land. Again, I still state we must set standards for when we decide to give out these incentives. There's other incentives that we must look at that will continue to make our city strive and become more competitive as well, and that's Public Act 210 that I've been on the Oakland County. I've been in Oakland County meetings, meeting with the executives there, and Oakland County is using Public Act 210, which is where when developers want to come into your city, they actually evaluate the property, and whatever that property is taxed at that time, you have 3 to 5 years, regardless of what the property value does around you in that area, it stays the same. So we cannot do the same thing and expect different results. We may look at other incentives as well.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. And Mr. Cruz?
Yes, again, as many of my colleagues have already stated, whether we're talking about brownfields or personal property taxes, Southfield is in a position in which we need to really focus on economic development for the future. And so whether it's either one of these types of abatements that we would use as a strategic opportunity to either attract new businesses or types of economic development to the city, I think that we should consider it. I think there should definitely be standards. There shouldn't be things that we use haphazardly, but there certainly should be things that we take on a case-by-case basis. We look at whether or not these things would be more helpful for the community in terms of redevelopment. And we as a council should be looking and going after opportunities and businesses that we want to bring in and offer this as an opportunity to them as well, instead of looking for them to come to us and tell us what they want to bring and how they want to take advantage of these type of opportunities. So I think it's incumbent upon us as a council to take the lead on offering these opportunities and bringing and recruiting type of businesses we want to the community.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. We'll begin the next question with Mr. Frazier. What will you do to reduce legacy costs in the future?
One of the things, legacy costs are those costs that are incurred when we have a retirement or the funding for retirement. And we've already taken advantage of some of the options that we have. We have the new people that are hired now they have a different kind of retirement benefits than the benefits of the people that have been on the payroll for a long period of time. So we're already doing some of that, and there's also, rather than having defined benefits, we can go to defined contributions to help reduce the legacy costs. But there are a number of options. Some of those we've already done, because I am proud to be a member of the council that looks down the road and sees that things aren't going to get better, and we better do things now to prevent the future from being bad.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum?
I currently work for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we're always on the looking at the cutting edge of benefits for employees, whether it's health care for retirees or health care for current employees. And I think that I can bring that knowledge to the council to help them understand the trends in the marketplace that will help lower some of those legacy costs, to find ways to keep the legacy costs low and keep them trending the proper way in the future. As the city hires more employees, we should look at two-tier wage system, where employees, current employees and new hires have a different wage tier where they're earning different benefits based on their hire date. And I think that will help lower some of the legacy costs in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. First of all, Southfield already has a two-tier hiring system, which we implemented just a few years ago because of these legacy costs and because of the economy. I must say, we have some of the best experts at our beck and call for all of the financial things that we do. We have our current city manager has been the Office of Management and Budget Director. He is among the top in the country. We have resources that we can hire and that do service our city for all of these situations. We have the best advice that we can get. This is one of the best managed cities from a financial standpoint of any city that I know. And I'm very proud to be a part of this council. I'm very proud to be involved with the finance, which is one of my major interests. You can be assured that things are being scrutinized and done in the city's best interest, and as I said, and you've heard it from others, we're proud to be a part of this council.
Thank you, Ms. Seibert. Time is up. Ms. Seymour, rather. Mr. Seibert.
My brother, no, I don't know anybody.
As has been said, legacy costs are something that has concerned us for years, and I go back a long time, and when Southfield controlled its tax base, we did lots of things for our employees. We gave them good benefits and good, they were well compensated. As our revenues declined, we've had to readjust, and it's always very hard to get to take things away when people have been given things in past years. Fortunately, our labor unions there are 9, have worked with us on restructuring health care. We're on agreed to a two-tier system, and we've reduced a number of other benefits, small perks that employees had to corral this and keep costs within line. It's how we're living within our means.
Thank you, Mr. Seibert. Ms. Baldwin.
Funding for the retirees. First off, let me say we have had quite a few retirees over the last few years in Southfield. We have been more focused on staff, I think, more than we have the people of the residents. That also must change. However, with that being said, I think we should look at, of course, alternative retirement plans, and even perhaps educate our retirees prior to their retirement on even the affordable health care plan. Again, aggressively continue to get with the unions to help restructure those benefit plans, and I think that would definitely bring down and reduce the legacy costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Cruz.
Yes, much like my colleague here, Mr. Mandelbaum, I too, in my place of employment, I'm part of a union at Oakland Community College. I'm a member of the Teamsters 214. We have 7 unions at Oakland Community College, and this has been something that we have had to face in the last few years as well. Part of the strategy that we employed was really bringing all those unions to the table along with the administration and really restructuring some of these benefit plans and options for employees. I mean, we all have to be realistic about the fact that times have changed. What we've been able to do in the past is not what we can necessarily do today and or in the future, and we need to make decisions that are going to be in the best benefit of the whole and not just certain groups. And so regard to these discussions and negotiations, but I think if we all come to the table in good faith, we can negotiate a way to maintain, to keep these legacy costs at a point where it doesn't cause the city any concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. And Mr. Fracassi.
Yes. Southfield is a very young city, and during the growth of the city of Southfield, there's been a lot of wages paid and benefits that have been paid that have been real competitive with the environment that we have in the surrounding area. But, you know, we have seen that we can't exist with the revenue we have to have the kinds of benefits we used to have, nor give the wages we used to have. We have a very well-trained employee staff and police and fire, but it comes at a time when you have to change things. And we went to a two-tier system so that we'd be able to hire new employees as the others retire and still be competitive and have enough revenue to exist in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. We'll begin the next question with Mr. Mandelbaum. Do you feel that our taxes are competitive? How much of our taxes fund the city operations, and how much goes to fund education?
The city taxes are one of the highest in the neighboring areas, and we definitely need to find ways to lower those taxes to attract residents and businesses. The city only gets about 40 cents per dollar of tax collected. Education is actually half of all taxes collected, and I think that we need to find ways to lower the tax base in the city to stay competitive, to bring businesses in and bring residents in as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Ms. Seymour.
The city of Southfield collects the taxes for the school board. They pay us to do this, but all of those taxes don't go to the city. I'm not sure what the percentage is that goes to the schools, but we collect taxes that go to the county as well as to the schools and as well as to the city.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. Mr. Cybert.
Our taxes are really sort of a legacy of the community. Most people who've been here a long time voted all our taxes in, as it was about quality of life. When the police and fire came in the 80s and asked for a pension millage, it was voted in. When we wanted to build a new library, we increased the library millage. And we have a wonderful facility here. Parks and Rec has its own millage, and we also have a road mill that doesn't go very far anymore. Basically, the city's operating millage is very lean. It's roughly 21 mills, and the schools get 16 mills. And then there's the state 6 mills.
Thank you, Mr. Cybert. Your time is up. Ms. Baldwin.
Yes, I think our taxes are competitive here in the city of Southfield, considering the services that we get, that we're used to. And again, our tax base create the quality of the living that we're so used to. And so I think we don't hear a lot of, well, I'm not getting a lot of complaints of higher taxes because I believe people have observed what has happened with Detroit, and they're not complaining really about the taxes anymore. So yes, do I think our taxes are competitive for the services that we receive? Absolutely. Do I know the percentage of what funds go into the education? Not at this point. However, I am aware that 2/3 of our general funds go to our public safety to support our police and fire and EMS, and everybody welcomes that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. And Mr. Cruz.
Yes, I believe the taxes here are somewhat competitive. Ultimately, you get what you pay for. And as Mr. Cybert stated just a moment ago, many of the taxes that exist here in this city were voted on by the people, and these were things that we wanted because these were certain services that we wanted in this city, and it was a certain quality of life and a certain standard that we wanted to maintain. So, you know, it's no question important that our police and fire have the type of response time that they have. Why? Because we put the kind of resources behind those types of things because that's something that was important to us. You want a library, we build a library. We have to put resources behind that to maintain this beautiful facility that we're in today. You want lights when you leave out of here to go down the street to see where you're going. Other neighborhood communities don't necessarily have those types of things. So, if you want to talk about comparing us to other cities, neighboring cities, and being competitive, you have to really look at exactly not just what the bottom line is, but are you getting what you pay for. And I believe in Southfield, we do get what we pay for, but we'd like to be even better, but there's always room for improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Fracassi?
Yes, you could always take these figures and turn them upside down, because those who say the taxes in Southfield are high, it depends on how you look at it. When you look at you lost $1 billion in value, say you take 10% of $3.7 billion, what it used to be, and you take that same percentage on $2.3 billion, you can see that the taxes that we're receiving are much less than what we were receiving before. Why they're lower is because the taxes on each individual home and business is less. So if you look at how the tax is divided out, you'll see that your taxes are probably in some cases lower than most communities.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. And finally, Mr. Frazier.
Yes, I'd just like to say there are two positions that you don't want to be in when you have one of these conferences, and that is, first, because as other people answer, you say, boy, I wish I'd have said that. When you actually say, me too. But are our taxes competitive? You have to be real careful when you take dollar for dollar from what other communities are assessing on their people. And that's because there are things that we provide here in Southfield that other communities don't. For instance, we have a professional full-time fire department. There are some communities around us that have a lower tax rate that have a volunteer fire department, if you can believe that in these days. They have volunteer fire departments. And so, actually, I think our taxes are competitive, and you don't hear people complain now because the taxes have been lowered, but so has the assessment on their homes.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. We'll begin.
How about Mr. Frazier?
I'm sorry, Mr.
This is my brother.
We'll begin the next question with Ms. Seymour. There are actually two questions here, and I'm going to combine them. Well, the first question is, can you address the perception? Sorry.
I answered first that
You answered first, correct. So we're going to begin the next question with Ms. Seymour. And again, I'm combining two questions. First one, can you address the perception that all of the new and innovative development takes place between 10 and 12 Mile and between Telegraph and Evergreen? And the second question related to that is, residents feel that Southfield and the downtown area starts at 10 Mile Road. Where is downtown Southfield, and what are your plans to revitalize the area?
That's a lot, that's right. I can't answer that in 30 seconds.
Well, let's give you a minute and a half.
Well, first of all,
I'm going to give all the candidates a minute and a half to answer
okay.
the question.
We don't have a downtown. They call that section around Northland the downtown development area, but we don't have a downtown. We're not a downtown city. We're not built that way. What we're trying to develop in the city center is something that would have some of the attributes of a downtown, walkability, stores, restaurants, but that's a long-term process. The DEA without Northland is really, it's not a good situation. But there's been major development there because we tore down a major hotel, so there's going to be redevelopment along 9 Mile in that area. That's a huge thing. It's been taking us years to do that. So it's not being neglected. We don't just go as a city, pick an area and say, we're going to develop this. People have to come in and look at the area. We do go out and try to attract businesses. We have a lot of things that we do to do that, and I don't have time to go into that. But people come in and they'll say, I want to do something here, I want to do something there. Either it's not appropriate for that area, not zoned right, or they can't get the property they want. There's a lot that goes into this. So to say part of it's being neglected, that's just not true. We don't have control over Northland. It's managed by an out-of-town company. They don't seem to have the care and concern for it that the people that had it years ago had, and we can't do much about that. What's going on between 10 and 12 basically has to do with the road, the Evergreen Road, in order to get that up and running, I shouldn't say running, but refined so that we have something to attract people to the city center. You've got to have a beautiful street.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. A minute and a half now also then for Mr. Cyber.
Okay, I live below 9 Mile, and actually 5 blocks north of 8 Mile. A lot is happening. Right now, 9 Mile is being repaved. The city took over the abandoned Ramada Hotel, paid the back taxes on it, and tore the hotel down and has sold it to OCC, which recently finished a major expansion of its campus. 8 and 9 Mile between Greenfield Road, on Greenfield Road will be repaved next year, as well as on Evergreen. Providence Hospital is we've just met with Providence Hospital. They're doing another $25 million in renovation in the hospital. They're converting several hundred rooms to private rooms in the hospital. A ton of money has been spent by Providence Hospital, so I think it's false that nothing's happening below 10 Mile. As far as the city center vision, I am really, really excited about what we're planning to do across the street. The city cannot build buildings, but we can put in the infrastructure to encourage development. So we have new roadway, a median, a number of other public improvements going in, and 4 new buildings are in the works.
Thank you, Mr. Cyber. Ms. Baldwin.
I believe the question was, for us to address the perception of the development and why is so much focus on a particular area and not on our undeveloped areas. And I've been attending frequent council meetings, and what I'm getting out of the council meetings is that they're targeting LTU students, which I have no problem with that. I promote that. However, I believe in creating a citizens committee. I would like to see our citizens become more engaged and involved in the process of whatever businesses come here, whatever areas is going to be developed. I would like to see the citizens be more engaged. Yes, we have, our slogan is the center of it all, and most people were like, well, where is that at? And then I found out later, well, when they say the center of it all, it's actually because we're centrally located, but we're not the center of it all because what are they coming here to do? So I am looking forward to having a downtown developed area where we have a heart of it all, but I do not want our other areas to be neglected. We can easily neglect other areas, and they'll become urban areas while we're focusing on downtown, such as what Detroit is doing. And again, we want to set ourselves aside, and we want to be examples for other cities. So I'm looking for the heart of downtown and not just the center of it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Cruz.
I think the perception of the development taking place at 10 Mile and north of it is a valid one. If you read Southfield City, any papers, any conversation, most of the conversation is centered around what's taking place on Evergreen, around the Arbor Lofts and that future development there, which I think is great. I fully support what's going on Evergreen and that development. I think it's wonderful. We spent 5 hours or so at this Monday's council meeting discussing the development at St. Bede's, and while folks are talking about economic development, there was still votes against the development that was coming there that was actually going to bring new living spaces, new economic development, and a new restaurant to the area, which was sorely needed. But I live down in the 9 Mile area, and as Council President Cyber stated, yes, we are having a lot of development going on with regard to the roads. Yeah, we tore down the Ramada Inn, thank goodness, but there are a number of buildings that are still sitting there that are dilapidated. They're in horrible shape. If we want to do something to try to build that area up, we had a food truck rally out on Evergreen Road. Why don't we have it in Northland's parking lot? It's huge and it's empty. There's nothing there. Let's bring something down in that area. The Downtown Development Authority has developed a strategic plan, a 3-year strategic plan for that area, Have we looked at that plan? Have we adopted any of the strategies that they have for that particular area? So I know that, we want to support the things that are already in progress, but we got to be able to do more than one thing at one time. The city is larger than just what happens north of 10 miles.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. We'll continue now with Mr. Percassi.
Yeah, I think there's a sense of lack of awareness of what's going on in the city. I know this came up Monday night when we were talking about St. Bede's, but let me rattle it off here. We have $25 million spent, going to be spent in OCC. $2.5 million spent to tear down the Ramada. We have a Greenfield Road is going to, from 8 to 9, is going to $1 million. We have 9 Mile Road being done. Each mile is $1 million a mile. You can figure it. You have New Huntington Bank going down there. You have Southfield Road south of Mount Vernon went in. You have a bridge on Beach Road went in. You have Billy Sims Restaurant went in on Telegraph Road. Taco Bell redid their place. Telegraph Road got completed with all asphalt. Inkster Road got completed. Franklin Road got completed. 10 Mile and south of intersection got done, even though it was county. We had retention of half in Tower 14. We got Oakland Hospital opened up in the province area there. We rebuilt Beechwood Park. We expanded Baseline Center. We've had Evergreen Road from 8 to 9 and 10 to 11. So these are the things that we have done, and it's too bad that people don't realize not only how much effort went into this, and planning and making it happen, but how much money we put on the table in the south end of the city. I don't think we favor one over the other. We want the total city of South to be great.
But I have no place to eat where I live.
Thank you, Mr. Percassi. Mr. Frazier.
Yes, Mr. Percassi rattled off a whole string of developments that have been taking place between 8 Mile Road and 10 Mile Road. But I live just off 9 Mile Road, and I live in Green Dolphin Square. And some of the things that Mr. Percassi didn't mention, because he didn't have time, was Comu moved in just north of 8 Mile Road. Lear bought the building across the street and now has a new building across the street. There's the boot camp opened up just north of 9 Mile Road, and that's an exercise place. The developer came into the council meeting to talk about that. He mentioned the Billy Sims, but the Burger King across on the east side of Telegraph between 9 and 10 Mile was developed. So, yeah, we do development on north of 10 Mile, but there's a lot of development going on between 8 Mile and 10 Mile, and there are still things on the drawing board for along the Southfield side of 8 Mile Road that are still yet to come. So I'm encouraged that we're developing things all over the city, and it's good for the businesses, and it's good for the residents because it brings in new tax dollars.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. And Mr. Mandelbaum.
A lot of my colleagues have said a lot of the answers that I was going to give. But there's still some things that, with the development between 10 and 12, with Evergreen Road being redone next year, there's a lot of activity and a lot of people want in as it's being redone. But if you drive down Telegraph, as Mr. Frazier mentioned, you do have Lear, you have Kamau, that have built up on Telegraph between 8 and 9. You have a brand new tech center that council approved right around Lasher 9 Mile that's taking over an entire building. You have Word of Faith, one of the largest churches in Southfield, on 9 Mile and Evergreen. You have Northland that can be redeveloped with the right strategic planning involved. OCC taking over the Ramada hotel space that was recently demolished. There's a lot that the city is currently doing to redevelop the areas between 8 and 10 Mile. If you drive anywhere through the city, you'll see that it's bustling. Once they fix the roads and with the strategic planning, the businesses will come and will flourish in those sections as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. We'll begin the next question with Mr. Cyber, and we'll go back to the 1-minute answers. question is, what city initiative or project would you lead in promoting in the next 365 days to move Southfield forward?
Great question. I have one of the things that I'm currently working on with the Engineering Academy at Southfield High School is the development of a docking station for portable electronic devices. So if you're out someplace and your phone or computer goes dead, we hope to put this at the Central Park Boulevard. I want to see a public art commission become reality. We just started a fund in the Community Foundation for Public Art, and we've had great success with two public, or rather tours of mid-century modern architecture. We need to promote our assets. We have a phenomenal collection here of mid-century modern architecture that is becoming in vogue again, and is quite a bit of interest has been expressed in it. The two tours we just had sold out.
Thank you, Mr. Saber. I'm sorry, but your time is up. Ms. Baldwin?
I believe that what would be most important for me to promote in the next 365 days that would push our city forward. Again, I can't stress enough that citizen committee. I will be very repetitious on that. Also incorporating more programs in Parks and Recs for our seniors 50 and plus. We are, after I did my due diligence, I find that we are very behind on programs for our seniors to engage in, such as prevention and intervention programs, medical management, prevention of identity theft, prevention of violence and falling. There are so many things that I would like to promote in the next 365 days. But then, for the most part, again, attracting businesses and retaining the ones that we have here by, of course, patronizing them, and then, of course, looking at other incentives to get other businesses and corporations to come within our city.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Cruz?
Yes, I've been canvassing this city for over the past 6 months or so now, talking with residents on a daily basis about what their needs and concerns are. One of the major things that I would want to spearhead as a member of City Council is a comprehensive review of the city codes. It's been made clear to me by a number of residents that our codes don't seem to be current, that they've not been up to date or updated in a long time. A few have, but I think we really need to sit down and look at all of them, make sure that they are current, that they are meeting the needs of our current residents and those in our individuals in our communities, and as well as looking at instituting some standards and codes for our business community as well. Just like we want a nice curb appeal with regard to our homes and our residents and neighborhoods, we should hold the same standards for our businesses as well. So we need a uniform kind of standard for businesses and so forth as well. So that would be the main thing that I would want to see, and make sure that there's a consistent application of the codes or enforcement of them across the board.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Fracassi?
Yes, as far as our codes and zones, those are looked at constantly. When something comes up that we may become aware of, we look at how the codes are, as well as how the zoning ordinances affect businesses. So we do that on a daily basis, really. And as far as the codes, also we have a codification of codes. That's going through the whole gamut of codes in the city, which costs a whole lot of money because it's all legal and technical to get through that mess. So it takes time, and so therefore you can't do it on an everyday basis to get it all up to code at the same time. I'd like to see the expansion of LTU. We need density. We need students to make the city, make business survive. Business survive when we have density. And I'd like to see the LTU also go into the medical field. That is very important. The city center plan has been laying there for 30 years. As mayor, I was still pushing it. I intend to push it harder in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. Mr. Frazier?
Yes, for the next 365 days, I would like to stress what we call a sense of place. And a sense of place is to help bring those 6,000 people that left during the last 10 years back into the city of Southfield. But in order to attract them back into the city of Southfield, we have to develop an area or a sense that it's what they're looking for. And we have two places in the city that I think that speak to that. One is our town center, the area that we're starting to develop to attract the LTU students and other young people and make that a walkable place. The other is Southfield and 12 Mile Road, the new development that's mixed use, that will be dense. It will be the kind of development that will attract young people and the people that we want to bring back into the city of Southfield.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum.
In the next 365 days, the city needs more economic development. We need to attract businesses that can fill the current vacancies by buildings such as Blue Cross Building on 11 Mile in Inkster, 4 tall, multi-story buildings that were left vacant. We need to expand our economic development team within the city. We need to find businesses that are on the cutting edge of technology that will continue to expand, such as a biomedical type of company. We need to make the city also attractive for residents. Create a Wi-Fi throughout the city where anyone with a laptop, as they're charging them on their stations, can have that Wi-Fi capability. The city should have a dedicated grant writer to help find ways to share the burden with the city. Just like they got $5 million to redo Evergreen Road, we need to find extra ways for revenue to have these projects to make the city a more vibrant place.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. And Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. I just want to respond to that last point. Departments do have their own grant writers, so we put a lot of focus on getting grants, but there's a lot of competition for these grants. But my focus has been, ever since I've been on council, has been on the city center. I was an early champion of the city center plan. We've had several kind of iterations of this plan. Every one of them is a concept. We don't own the property, so we can't say this plan is approved or that plan is approved until we own the property. We have multiple property owners over there, so it's not just an idea that we can go in and do what we want. But the thing that I've been working on and will continue to work on, and besides the city center as a supporter of that, is music. We used to be known for our music. At one time we had 3 orchestras here, a symphony orchestra, more of that. People have asked for that to come back. We used to have a lot of little events for music and hotels and teas, and we had a cultural arts director, which we no longer have. So I think people have asked for this. They seem to want it, so I'm going to support the music.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. The last question is kind of an upbeat question. We'll take 30-second answers on this one, and it will be our last question, and we'll begin with Ms. Baldwin. The question is, if you could name one thing that makes you most proud about Southfield, what would that be?
Diversity. The diversity that we have here within our city. I'm very proud of the diversity and the different cultures that we have here in our city. Very proud of that.
Thank you. Ms. Cruz.
While it doesn't necessarily have any direct relation to the council, I'm very proud of our educational system here. I moved here a number of years ago because I was looking for a better quality of life for myself and my son, who is now currently his 4th year in Southfield Public Schools. It's a wonderful school, and I think it's a point of pride for our city.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Fragassi.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the city. I was raised here. My wife went through Southfield High School. My grandchildren are here. My children are here. And I'm very proud that they chose Southfield to be their home.
Thank you, Mr. Fragassi. Mr. Frazier.
The one thing I'm proud of is the city of Southfield. But if I break it down, I think the fact that Southfield is a safe city. You can have all the buildings, you can have all the events, you can have all the things that you want. If the city is not safe, it won't bring people into the city. So I am the most proud of the fact that we have a good police, fire, EMS, so that people feel safe and it works.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Mandelbaum.
I'm most proud of the diversity in the community and what it brings to the city. You have many different opportunities to look at different cultures, different people, different ways of life, and you can take that as a learning experience, and you can improve upon yourself, improve upon others, as you look at how others conduct themselves and how they will relate to different cultures as well.
Mr. Mandelbaum, Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. That's a difficult question for me because I come from a diverse ethnic background, very many, 2 different religions, different cultures, all over the map. So that's accepted to me. I agree with Mr. Percassi. I'm proud of the city of Southfield. I really like the people here. I think we have a great city, a great community. It's one whole thing to me. I can't pull out and say more of this and more of that. It's what Southfield is, and it's a component of all these things. And I'm very proud to be a part of this city.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. And Mr. Cyber.
I think I'm most proud of our neighborhood. We have, when you go through Southfield, you have towers, steel and glass, and you have the ribbons of concrete crisscrossing the city. But then when we go into the neighborhoods and the variety of housing stock and that we have, as well as some of the really scenic areas and the towering trees that many of our neighborhoods have. And then I think of the neighborhood associations and the people that I know in the neighborhoods and how much they care about Southfield.
Thank you, Mr. Cyber. We will now, this ends the question portion of our program. We will have the closing statements in reverse alphabetical order, so we'll start with Mr. Cyber.
Okay.
1 minute.
This is the year that the storm clouds of the economic challenges that Southfield has faced have begun to clear. Housing values have started to climb. We believe that we've just about bottomed out on falling property assessments. We're seeing a modest uptick in new construction, and we've had some new companies move into Southfield as well as seeing others expand. In 2004, I was part of a team which embraced a budget realignment plan to reduce expenditures as our projections at the time saw costs rising faster than revenues. Because of this action and the political will to stick to the plan with a balanced budget, a financial reserve, the ability to make a limited amount of capital expenditures today. Additionally, we've avoided layoffs, maintained stable pension system, and continue to deliver essential services. For these reasons and many more, I'm proud to be a Southfield resident, and you should be too. And I look forward to another term on Southfield Council with your continued support.
Thank you, Mr. Cyber. Ms. Seymour.
Thank you. I have really enjoyed the time that I've been on council. I will tell you that I work very hard. I take calls at 6 a.m. in the morning and 1 o'clock in the morning from certain city staff. I won't mention names, but it's a very busy job if you're really committed and you're really interested. I am dedicated to this community. It matters to me. The residents matter to me. This is why I do what I do. We have a fabulous staff to work with. We've accomplished a lot. These people are so giving. We really have, I think, one of the best, probably the best staff in the state of Michigan. I wouldn't mind saying that. It's a pleasure and a passion to do this, and if you continue to keep me on council, I promise you that I will continue to put the residents first, because the residents do come first in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. Mr. Mandelbaum.
Gandhi said, today's leadership means getting along with people. I have the ability to work with many different people and groups of people to find a common goal. As a longtime Southfield resident with strong roots in the community, I want to continue to move Southfield forward, making it a premier city in Southeast Michigan, the place where businesses are flourishing and residents are growing their families. Southfield prides itself on diversity, but diversity is the beginning. Inclusion has the infinite possibilities. I will be a councilman who will focus on the priorities of the diverse groups of the city and who will work with everyone to make it a better place. My third child and first son, Zachary, was just born a few weeks ago on September 10th. I chose to live here and want to make sure that not only my own children have opportunities, but that every child growing up here has the same opportunities to be living, learning, and working in the best Southfield that we can build together.
Thank you, Mr. Mandelbaum. Mr. Frazier.
Yes. Our family moved here 33 years ago, and we picked Southfield because of the education system. I have since worked closely with the Southfield Public Schools, and I've had 2 daughters that have graduated from Southfield High and 2 grandsons that have graduated from Southfield Lathrop. But being on council has been very rewarding to me. For the 18 years that I have help make decisions to make Southfield move forward have been a joy to me, and I still have the fire in my belly that I want to continue to make those decisions that help make Southfield move forward. I look forward to your vote on November the 5th so that I can continue to be a voice of reason on the City Council and make the decisions that make Southfield the best place that it can be.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Mr. Fracassi.
Yes, the city of Southfield is absolutely a greatest city to grow up in, to raise your family in. I'm very proud to be a part of it. The city has accomplished a whole lot, in spite of everything you've heard here in a negative way. You know, a lot of people don't realize all the work that went into keeping up with the challenges that we have. You know, our auditors have stated this last time that they came to look at our books, that a few cities have ever sustained itself after having a one-third loss in revenue. And it wasn't just the council, it was our entire Southfield team of the administrator, mayor, council, every employee that works for us, police and fire, and because of them, we are able to sustain ourselves and have a city that is going to have a bright future.
Thank you, Mr. Fracassi. Mr. Cruz.
Yes. Southfield is a city that is too good not to be great. It's time for us to look forward to the Southfield of the future and not continue to ponder on the Southfield of the past. When I decided to run for council, part of my motivation was because I did not feel that my voice was represented here on this council. So I mentioned to you earlier about a little bit of my educational experience and work experience. Those skill sets that I've gained over those years, over the last 15 years or so as an administrator in higher education, I think make me uniquely qualified for this type of work. Providing quality student services to taxpayers in Oakland County will be transferable into providing quality services to the residents of the city of Southfield. I'm a results-oriented person. I have progressive leadership skills, and I do believe that change is possible. There is room for a new voice on Southfield City Council. Make Lloyd Cruz your vote for change. And if you need any more information about me, voteforcruz.com is where you'll find it. Thank you.
Mr. Cruz, and finally, Ms. Baldwin.
Well, Southfield needs a new perspective, progressive, and a visionary leadership. I have compassion for people living productive lives and overcoming adversity. I am dedicated to making sure Southfield is viewed as a regional player in southeastern Michigan and polishes its brand as a premier city and destination of choices for our residents as well as our businesses. I will aggressively build partnerships that would help our city become more viable and sustainable. Again, of course, my name is Cynthia Baldwin, a.k.a. Son of Southfield. I have a strong professional management background, and I believe my skills would also be an asset to council. I have the vision and the capability to take Southfield to become the next regional leader. As a council member, I will utilize my problem-solving, creativity, strategic planning, negotiating, budget analysis, marketing, investment, and leadership skills. I will make choices that will have a positive impact on our community without compromising my professional ethics. Please feel free also to visit my website. Thank you.
The League of Women Voters would like to thank the audience, the candidates, and the City Government channel, City Cable Channel 15, for making this forum possible. For further nonpartisan information on these candidates, see the League's Voters Guide for the City of Southfield election at lwvoa.org. That's League of Women Voters Oakland Area.org. When known, broadcast times of this forum will be posted on the LWVOA website. The League of Women Voters is funded by contributions from concerned businesses and citizens. Our membership is open to men and women over the age of 18. And remember to vote on November 5th. Remember, democracy is not a spectator sport. Thank you and good evening.